6 months ago, I picked up my first film camera, and in that time, I've shot through 5 rolls of film. I'm currently working on my 6th, and they're all different film stocks. In this video, I just want to talk about each of them, show you guys some of my favorite shots from each roll, which stocks are my favorite, and just what I think about film in general so far. First thing that comes to mind when someone asks what I think about shooting film, it's refreshing. It's fun, it's new, well, at least to me. It's hard, I can't see what I'm shooting. Honestly, I don't know how people used to shoot things like weddings on film. People are paying you thousands of dollars expecting good photos, and I'm not even 100% sure that any of my photos are perfectly in focus or the exposure is perfectly nailed. You're relying on this tiny little bubble and a line to tell you that your shot's in focus. It's wild. It makes me respect older photographers a lot more for sure. We're so spoiled these days with our mirrorless cameras and our super sharp and super fast lenses. Yeah, the lenses and the cameras are pretty expensive these days, but you don't need to have a lot of skill to take a photo that's at least in perfect focus and that has good exposure. Obviously, there's a lot more to photography, that's just one aspect to it, but the fact that you don't even really need to think about these things anymore and 98% of your shots are gonna be perfectly exposed and perfectly in focus is just amazing. It's funny, we have these amazing cameras and lenses that take perfectly tack-sharp images, but yet we're drawn to film, or at least I'm drawn to film because of the imperfections. I hate using this word, but there's a vibe to film photos for sure. They don't just look different, they feel different. Maybe it's just that I'm getting older and it's the nostalgia of looking at a film shot and reminding me of the photos from when I was a kid, but there's something just so aesthetically pleasing about film to me. Let's get into the 5 rolls of film that I've shot so far. They all look totally different to me, and I think that's another really cool thing about film. You can buy a different film stock to get a totally different look rather than having to edit the photo to look a certain way afterwards. I've barely been editing my film photos, partly because I just love the way they look without anything done to them, but also partly because that's kind of why I'm shooting film in the first place. There's something to the fact that each shot that you take on film you need to think about. You need to set up. You need to make sure the exposure is right, the focus is right. The work is in the setup, in taking the photo and selecting the film stock, that I don't really feel like you really need to do a whole lot afterwards. When I shoot digital, because the camera does so much of the work, I feel like I need to do something in the edit afterwards to make the photo mine. Digital shots are so easy to take and they're so easy to replicate that I feel like the edit is really what makes it yours. I've said it before on this channel, but I think that editing is half of photography. It's what makes you look at a photo and say, oh yeah, that's a Peter McKinnon shot. Peter's always been a huge inspiration to me, and I feel like a big part of that is that I've always resonated with his editing style. I like those really contrasty, punchy photos. I also really like landscape photography, and in particular, Banff is my favorite place to go in Canada, which is how I found his channel. Everyone has their own style of photography, and it's cool if that's not yours. That's the beauty of photography. It's not exclusive. You don't need some accolades or anything to get started with it. All you gotta do is just go out and start shooting. Your audience, the people that enjoy the same type of photography as you, are just gonna show up on their own. So here are the 5 film stocks. Kodak Ultramax 400, Portra 800, Fuji 400, Kodak Gold 200, and Wolfen Color 400. Of the 5 stocks, my favorite by far is the Portra 800. The colors, the film grain, everything about it just looks amazing to me. Definitely more of a polished looking film. Probably my second favorite is the Wolfen Color. It's more of a muted, desaturated look to the shots, which I wasn't expecting, so this sunrise shot didn't really work out how I wanted it to, but the shots look really cool. It's apparently a new film stock, unlike some of these other ones that have been around forever since the film days. It's cool to see new film stocks coming out now that film has picked up in popularity, and I'm definitely down to try any new film that I can get my hands on. Fuji 400 is another one that I really liked. The green tint to the shots and the lifted blacks give these shots a really cool feel as well. Kodak Ultramax and Kodak Gold, I wasn't that impressed with, honestly. Maybe it's just the shots that I got with each of them, and I still have a few rolls of each to shoot, so maybe I'll get some better shots that'll change my mind. But the colors seem pretty okay. They were on the warmer side for sure, so perhaps as we get into these warmer months, I'll start to get some better results shooting with these films. Let me know which film stocks are your guys' favorites. I'm looking to try each one at least once. All right, that's it for this video. Subscribe if you want to see more videos like this, and I'll see you guys in the next one.